How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here, and we have the defense video for the upcoming Cosmic Crucible season. I believe it's season 19 is what we're currently on. And what we're going to be doing in this video is going through what my defense will be for week one. Typically, I like to go a little bit more offense heavy just to make sure I have the tools to clear the rooms. Then I'll start making adjustments either throughout the week or the following week. Now, this is going to be a very high end level defense as far as end game player goes. I am going to throw other options up hopefully throughout this video. I'm going to have little pop-ups that will kind of happen on there, so that way if you don't have that teams, you'll be able to kind of see what other options you can throw in these rooms. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start with stage 1 Invulnerable. We have had this room in the past, and basically when in as long as you have a Raider or a Skirmisher ISO, while under 50% health, you're going to gain plus 200% damage. This does not trigger the Thanos endgame passive, so do keep that in mind. That's not going to like just wipe out your entire enemy field. This does still do quite a bit of work though, so you do want to play with the ISO in this room, whether it's the Raider or Skirmisher, just to make sure you kind of take this benefit. You want somewhat of a slower team that can kind of rebound and take that damage. That way when you hit them back, you're under that 50% health and just kind of wipe out the enemy team. So this is going to be a little bit of a niche room that you're going to be playing around with. It's not going to be game changing or anything though. What I'm going to be putting in here is going to be the accursed team. Now, as far as ISO selection goes, I do have Hood, Azazel, and Helverine as the Raider. Satana, she does that percentile damage, so having the plus 200% damage isn't going to do anything for her. So I'm going to keep her a striker. That way and try to take advantage of her ISO selection. Juggernaut, I'm still kind of playing with. I don't know if I want to play with the damage portion, where I keep him as that Raider. He does the special, then turn 2 he gets the ultimate off. If he's not able to make it to there, I'll probably be switching this ISO over. But it's either going to be a healer or a Raider for the ISO selection for Juggernaut. Other teams that you can end up putting in here, I don't think Starjammers is really going to do much. The mirror matchup isn't going to really change anything on here. I believe previously we did have a Liberty comp that was in here before. That way, as soon as it gets to Captain Sam's turn, he pulls that ultimate off, and that can just wipe out the enemy team. So Liberty does work in here as an option. Like I said, with Starjammers, it's going to be really iffy if that's going to be able to play, take effect. Just because they do get a lot of regens, they do get a lot of healing due to Groot on here, so that's going to be a little bit more difficult to take advantage of this one. For stage 2 heroic shielding, this is going to be kind of a nothing burger room. On turn for hero characters, gain +1 deflect. When this character is attacked, apply defense down to the attacker. So you have to have a hero in here, and then you're going to be getting a lot of deflects on here, then throw defense down. I'm just going to throw my vigilante team in here. If you do have a big, and I'm talking like up to the diamond level for the immortal weapons team, throw immortal weapons with OG Emma in here, and that's going to be a nightmare for your opponents. They play very well off the deflect system, so I do think that could be an option. Liberty plays off of deflects as well, so Liberty could go in here, maybe throw a super scroll in there to really change it up a little bit. I do think like Cabal with Kang can end up taking that out, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult due to all the deflects that's going to be on the other side of the field. For stage 3, so on offense and defense, all characters. On death, apply offense up to all allies. On death, apply trauma to all enemies. So basically, as your character starts getting killed off, you get offense up, trauma goes on the other side of the field. So this one could be a little bit interesting. I'm just going to throw my Undying team in here. I do have the full team, so I do have that Zombie Scarlet Witch. If you don't have her, I was trying to think what other options could work. I think Dorm could be an option in here. That way you make sure they do get all of the revive onces in case they try to get the permakills out there, or permakills isn't going to do anything. But I do think Dorm could be an option, and I do think Super Scroll could be an option. Just trying to mess with the speed of your opponent could be something you can kind of play around with. I don't think this is going to really pull anything. I'm hoping more for an efficiency sync with the room 3, and they're kind of the best team to kind of take advantage of it, because if Zombie Iron Man gets killed off, he comes back to life. You have the Gregs and everything. I believe Greg does trigger the room rules on here, because it doesn't say anything about characters, and I think that's how it ended up working the previous time, and we didn't even have Zombie Scarlet Witch at the time. So I am curious how this is going to work. I'm not expecting too much, but it's something to where I can take advantage of one of my war teams. That's a pretty big team. Stage 4 kinetic shielding. I think this one's going to be kind of an interesting room just due to the rules itself. All characters gain when an enemy attacks this character, generate 1 special ability energy for self. So whenever you hit into that enemy, whoever you hit into is going to get a special ability energy, which could end up kind of changing the tides of battle for this one. So I'm going to end up doing Gore with Null. I have Thanos Endgame, I have Phoenix, and I have Omega Ray Phoenix Force in here. I do think if you want, you could try swapping Gore out and throw Super Scroll in here. That could be something as well, just to try to pull like maybe a Immortal X-Men, and they may end up failing on that attack due to giving out all the ability energy for the specials. Because if you can keep Null getting the special out there to where you keep pulling Carnage, you're going to have the Exposed out there due to Thanos Endgame. That's going to feed even more ability energy. So I do think that could end up being something by taking Gore out, throw Super Scroll in, and then you could end up using like a Gore somewhere else, maybe for offense to help clear charge or something. That could be something you could end up playing around with. Other teams, I do think Starjammers may be able to take advantage of this just due to how their special, they like using their special. So if you can kind of drag the match out a little bit and really start getting more of the special ability energy out there, I think that could end up being something as well in here. Accursed could be something as well, because usually after the first burn attack, you pull their ultimates. If you can try to get it to where they can kind of get multiple specials off, especially for Juggernaut, being able to do that healing due to his pre-taunt mechanic, I think that could be interesting as well to kind of throw in the stage 4 room. Stage 5, Hear No Evil. This one here is a very, very interesting room because I like how it has the chain effect. And surprisingly, on the test server, they were able to get this coded correctly to where it was actually working, but they couldn't do that with mine on the past few seasons, right? So on offense and defense, all characters gain. On a successful attack by this character, if the primary target has blind, you're going to get a free ISO attack out of it, which isn't really anything major. That's the next 2 rules on here that make this so interesting. On a successful attack by this character, if the target has silence, apply blind to them. On any turn end, if this character has bleed, gain silence. So basically, you get teams out here that can pump out a lot of bleeds. That could be like a Night Stalker team. That could be even an Undying team. They pump out a lot of bleeds. And then from there, that's going to end up getting a silence on them. And due to the blinds, going to get the ISO attack on here. I'm going to be using a Insidious 6 with Green Goblin Classic. If you saw the video that I posted earlier where I was doing the testing for the New Mutants team, this walked over New Mutants, especially in stage 5. This team does a lot of flips. They get a lot of bleeds out there, which is going to cause the silence and the blind mechanics to kind of pop off on your opponent. So I am curious. I do think other teams can definitely beat this, like a Night Stalkers, throw like a Captain Britain into this team type. But I don't think the full Illuminati could take this out just due to getting the silence and all the negative effects out there along with trauma. So this is going to be kind of interesting. I want to see how the efficiency pulls on this. Maybe you'll trip a few people up. Like I said, Undying could work in here. I do think this room 4 could easily move over to room 5. This team pumps out a lot of bleeds as well, which is going to cause it to where there's going to be the silence. You get the ISO attack, you get the blind. So this is going to be a very powerful room in this upcoming season. Now for stage 6. This is this year's invasion. It's my 3rd attempt, I believe, at making a room. I kind of lost count myself. I was trying to go with the city, global, cosmic. And since that kept having issues, I think just to too many ifs, ands type of things, I decided to go, well, let's do 5 hero characters, 5 villain characters. So if you do end up kind of doing a burn attack and you get rid of one of the characters on here, the room's going to kind of fall apart. So on offense and defense, when 5 hero characters on the same side of the field gain plus 50% max health and plus 50% resistance. Basically, I'm thinking the heroes can be more of a tanky type of thing. Villains would be more of an offensive type of thing. So heroes on turn generate 1 special ability energy for 2 random allies. I did not know about the New Mutants. I think this is going to be kind of where New Mutants kind of resides, if they're able to kind of fix how Insidious 6 walks over them. When 5 villain characters are on the same side of the field, they gain plus 50% damage and plus 50% focus, kind of offsetting. And then when an ally character drops to 50% health, characters on the opposing side flip negative effects and allied characters flip positive status effects. Basically, it's the warp world role is what I want to go with. That was something they already had in the game due to all those scourges. So I thought that was easier for them to just kind of insert in here. And it was interesting enough to where you kind of really mess with the matchup. That's kind of why I went with this. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is going to be an Odin Xavier comp, new Emma to shut down the speed, Nightcrawler to shut down any OG Emma going into them, and then Living Mummy in here due to that pre-taunt with a revive once mechanic. So that's kind of my thought process behind here. Now, I do have Blue Marvel unlocked, so the Nightcrawler is going to shift over to the Blue Marvel. So I do want to point that out. Now, other teams that could work in here, I was kind of thinking what could be really work pretty nasty. Accursed is 5 villains, so they're able to kind of get the safeguard mechanic to kind of protect their buffs, and giving them an extra 50% damage output, I think is going to be pretty insane. So I do think Accursed can easily slot into this room. If you have Starjammers, they'd be able to take advantage of this as well to generate 1 special ability energy. Getting Groot to where he can get multiple specials off, Havoc to get multiple specials off, to where he could end up getting multiple stuns. You also have Howard the Duck getting multiple of those ability blocks out there. So I do think that Starjammers could work in here if you kind of want to go that route. It's mentioned Accursed. Phoenix Force wouldn't really be able to slot in here due to having a hero on that side of the field. So that's not going to be something that you want to really play around with. If we look at other teams, you could definitely go with like the Fantastic Four. The issue with the Fantastic Four is they like their ultimate abilities more than their specials. So you go in, you burn the ultimates, then you can easily go in to clean it up with the Immortal X-Men. So if you end up doing like the Xavier Fantastic Four, I don't think it's really going to change anything too much as far as that goes. Now, there is going to be the Brimstone team. I plan on using like Damon more as an offensive tool in here. I'm also going to be having Blastar. I have a Mephisto comp for offense as well. So we do have a lot of offense capabilities. But I do think this is going to be kind of an interesting one to see what the community is able to theory craft with this. But that's kind of my initial thoughts. So just to kind of recap, Stage 1, I'm doing Accursed. I do think they can end up throwing like the Phoenix Forest Null kind of comp into Stage 1. That could kind of pull something. But honestly, I don't think Stage 1's going to be kind of a make or break. You just want something that can kind of take the hits, and then they're going to be punching back. Stage 2, Vigilante. I do think that having the Immortal Weapons, if they're huge, they're OG Emma with them, that's really going to mess things up for Stage 2. Undying in 3, nothing else really to really take advantage of you getting killed off and kind of popping back off at your opponent. Can't talk right now. Stage 4, Thanos, Gore, Null, Phoenix Force. I do think Super Skrull can easily slot in over Gore in this one. Stage 5, I'm doing Insidious 6. Nightcrawler, or not Nightcrawler, Night Stalkers could easily slot in here as well. Stage 4 could slot in there. I'm curious about Stage 3 slot in there. I think 5 is going to be a very interesting room. Even Old Man Logan could end up doing a lot of work in here. And with the 4 to 5 diamond leaderboards we just had, that could be even more of a nightmare. In Stage 6, I'm just going to throw my powerhouse hero characters in here, get them the extra health. New Mutants, I think, can work in here if they get them corrected. So hopefully this will help you guys out. If you do guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll try to stay a little bit active at the start to try to help you guys out. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.